Hi everyone, Anthony Morganti here. Recently, Topaz Labs added a new feature to Photo AI called Super Focus. In today's video, we're going to see what Super Focus is all about. Now, as you can see, I have Photo AI open. On my desktop, I have a RAW file. This is a RAW file that I took with my iPhone. I had my iPhone set up to shoot Apple Pro RAW. Now, those of you that are familiar with Photo AI know that if you open a manufacturer RAW file up into it, it will automatically apply raw denoise to that image. For some reason, it doesn't do that with the Apple Pro RAW files. So it didn't do anything to this image. But that's okay, because there really isn't any noise. The main issue with this image is obviously it's out of focus. A little more background on this photo. Obviously, it was taken in December. It's of my grandson. I had just set up the tree, put the lights on, and my wife and my grandson were going to then decorate the tree. And with our Christmas decorations, we have these reindeer antlers that we would typically put on our dog to get a photo of. Well, my wife put them on my grandson, and we had this haha moment of him wearing these reindeer antlers. As you can see, though, this specific image is very blurry. So this is a perfect image to try Super Focus on. Before I do, though, those of you, again, familiar with Photo AI know that it has a feature called Sharpen. And with Sharpen, you could sharpen images that are out of focus like this one. And if you go down here where some of the tools are, you can see that Sharpen is right here, and it's going to default on the subject. And if I hover over the word subject, you can see the red overlay is over him. And really, that's all I want sharpened. I don't want the background sharpened. I just want the subject of the photo sharpened. So we're going to do this first. So I'm going to apply this. Now, Autopilot is suggesting that we use strong with a strength of 63. And here's a before. And there's an after. So you can see it's marginally better. Now, I tried this ahead of time. I found that motion blur was the best. So I'm going to jump right to motion blur with a strength of 32 and a minor denoise of 7. I found this to work best. There's a progress bar on the lower left-hand side. You can see that it just finished. There's before. There's after. It's better. It's still not acceptable, but it's better. Now, what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to export this image so that at the end, we can compare it to the results we get from Super Focus. So I'm going to go to export. I'm going to save it to the original folder with the original format. I'm just going to add Sharpen to the file name so that we know this is the image that I used Sharpen on. And it's going to take a second to save. And then I'm going to remove this from the image. So we're right back where we started. And then we're going to take that raw file and we're going to use Super Focus on it. Now, there's a lot of options in Super Focus. There's really not just like one way to do it. Also, there's some limitations, and I'm going to talk about the limitations as well, some hardware limitations with your computer. Okay, we're done. I'm going to close this window. Now, as I mentioned, I'm going to remove it. So I'm going to click this little X. So we're right back where we started. We have this image of my grandson that's very blurry. Now, we're going to use Super Focus. As you can see, it's still in beta. So I'm going to click on Super Focus, and it doesn't do anything. You have to click on an area to render because this tool is very hardware intensive. So it can't render the entire image. Well, it could, but it would take like a long time. Maybe like on some images and some machines, like over 20 minutes. And who has all that time to sit around just to see a render? So what it will do is it will give you this little box, and you would click on an area and it will just render the area in the little box. Now, as far as the limitations are concerned, my computer is actually limited. If we look over here on the right-hand side, you can see it has cloud rendering. I could have this rendered on Topaz Labs servers. It will take 2 minutes and 23 seconds. And you can see it has a little 8 here. That is the cloud credits it will cost me to have it rendered on their servers. When you purchase Photo AI, they will give you 100 free cloud credits, and you'll be able to use those. If you run out, you need to purchase more. At the end of the video, I'm going to show you on their website how much cloud credits cost. Now, you don't have to use cloud credits, though. Hopefully, you could go down here and just click render and let your machine do the rendering, and that won't cost you any cloud credits. The thing, though, is it doesn't work on some machines. As you can see, for my computer, it's grayed out. I cannot render this image on my iMac. My iMac has an AMD Radeon graphics card. SuperFocus is incompatible with AMD Radeon graphics cards. So I'm not able to render this on my computer, period. I have to use the cloud. I have to use cloud credits. That's a limitation. Another limitation is if you have a Windows computer and you have less than 8 megabytes of video RAM, you won't be able to render this on your computer. This will be grayed out as well. So those are some limitations, and it is kind of a pain in the neck because even if you have a computer that is compatible, rendering the preview takes a long time. By default, it's going to have sharpen strength at low, focus boost on none, and you'll have this little box. You can change the size of the box with the preview control. Medium will give you a larger box. Large will give you an even larger box. But again, your preview will take longer because to render this size box will take longer than to render this size box. So for this demonstration, let's click and render this size box. Now, as you can see, it has at the bottom rendering preview. And you can see it's taking a little time to render the preview on my computer. But once it does, we'll get a little preview here of what it will do. And as you can see, there's before and there's after. Now I could add 3 of these at one time. So I could click a second time to add another one, like right there. And then it will render there and it will leave the other side rendered as well. And I could click a third time if I want. But if I click a fourth time, it will remove the first one I did and then apply that third one. So it only could show 3 at any one time. So you're better off just going to medium and clicking and using a medium box, or the large and do the large box. But as you can see, this is what it's doing. Let me clear the preview. So again, I tried this out ahead of time. I'm not going to bore you with all the details. I found the high to work the best. So I'll jump right to high on this specific image. I'm going to click there and let it render. Now below that, we have something called Focus Boost. Focus Boost is really odd the way it works. From what I read, what it will do is in the background, it downsizes your image. It applies the sharpening, the super focus to that downsized image, and then it will bring your image back up to full resolution. And supposedly it looks better that way. But again, by default, it's going to be on none. Now here is sharpen strength at high, and here's a before, and there's an after. You can see it's better. It's still not acceptable. It looks kind of creepy, right? But again, we'll clear that preview. Again, I tried this ahead of time, and I found that the major worked best. Here we have a really big box, even at small. And I'm actually not going to click the preview because it will take so long. But what I am going to do is I am going to render this in the cloud. And then once it renders in the cloud, you can see down here that it has some super focus tips. It says work best for soft and out of focus images. Well, that's what this is. And it says after applying super focus, use recover faces and preserve text. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to recover the face after we're done rendering this in the cloud. Now, we don't have to run preserve text because there is no text in here that needs to be preserved. But what you'll find is if your image did have text, like a sign in it or something, the lettering will be all jumbled up when you run super focus. So we're just going to use this. We're going to click Cloud Render. It's going to take 2 minutes and 23 seconds. It's going to cost me 8 cloud credits. You can see in the top right-hand corner, I have the 86 cloud credits to go. So that's okay. So we'll click Cloud Render. You can see we got this box. I suspect it's probably going to take a little longer than 2 minutes, 23 seconds. It really depends on the speed of your internet connection and how busy their servers are. If they have a lot of people using their servers, it's going to take longer than if, say, they only have me using their servers. So I am going to pause the recording, and we're going to come back when super focus is done. When it's done, this super focus window will be closed and will be in the regular Topaz Labs Photo AI window. Okay, we're in the Photo AI window, and you could see that it has been applied. It actually took a little less than 2 minutes and 3 seconds. And you can see what it did here. Now, it did say that we should run recover faces. So I'm going to run recover faces, and we're going to then click on the box where I want it to recover the face. And you can see it's running here. We'll go to low quality in subject, go to in subject. And there it did it. Now, by default with autopilot, it has a strength at 80 using the realistic model. You can see it kind of looks kind of weird because it is using AI to kind of make his face look better. It kind of looks more like a porcelain doll though. But, you know, that's what it is. Here's before and there's after. So that's the actual raw file without anything done to it. That's that. If you want to see before after with recover faces, there's before recover faces there. And there takes a second to kick in. There's after recover faces. So we'll leave recover faces on. Again, there's before. And when it kicks in, there's after. So we'll leave that. We're going to export this. All right, so it again is going to be saved to the original folder. It's going to be a raw file, preserve the input format. This one will have focus face added to the file name. So I used the super focus option with the face recovery option, and we'll click save. And you know what? Maybe just to give you a better kind of idea how this works, I'll remove the recover faces option so that now I'll export one with just the super focus option as well. So we'll export this as well. And this one will just have focus in the file name. Again, it'd be a raw file in the same raw format. And then once this saves, I'll close down this. I'm going to open all 4 images up into Photoshop. So we'll get rid of Topaz Labs here. And I'll open them up as a stack in Photoshop so that I could show you them against each other. So I'm going to go down here and go to scripts, load files into stack, browse. So I have the original raw file right here. Then I have the image with sharpen. Then I have the image with just the focus done, and then the image with the focus and the face done, the recover faces. So I have them in this order. Hopefully they stay that way when they open. And then you can see it's going to come over here. I'll have them all in a stack. Yeah, so the top one is with focus and face recovery. The next one below that is just focus. The one below that is just sharpen. And then the one below that, which I'll have now is the only active one, is the original blurry image. I'm going to zoom in to fit to screen to start. Okay, so here is the original raw file. Here is the raw file when I just added sharpen to it. Now here is the raw file where I had the super focus added to it. And here is the raw file with super focus and face recovery added to it. Okay, so again, here is the original raw file right here. I'm going to zoom in even more. And we'll go down. Now, those of you not familiar with Photoshop, because I have these in a stack, when I turn on a layer that is above another layer, it will totally cover up that layer. So you won't see any of the layer below. So this is the bottom layer, and it just is the image. That's the only layer that's on. This is the image right out of camera with all this blur. Here is the image now with sharpen done to it, and only sharpen. Now here is the image with super focus done to it. Now here is the image with super focus and face recovery done to it. So one more time for the people in the back. Here is the image right out of camera. Here is the image with sharpen. Here is the image with super focus. And then here is the image with super focus and face recovery. Now, again, I mentioned there's incompatibilities. I couldn't run this on my computer at all. I had to use their servers. And with their servers, I had to use those cloud credits. In the description below this video, I'll have a link to this web page, and you can see the cloud credits. Now, you do, by default, they're going to show you this monthly subscription to cloud credits. And by default, the most popular is $400 a month, $39.99. Most for us enthusiasts, I mean, this isn't something I think that you're going to do a lot. If you're a professional wildlife photographer and you stink, you probably will have a lot of autofocus wildlife shots and you may want to subscribe monthly. But if you're even a professional or an enthusiast and every now and then you have an autofocus image, you'll probably prefer to just have a one-time purchase. You can purchase 20 for $5, 400 for $78. That's a big jump. I wish they had something in between there, but they don't. So those are the credits. Now, also in the description below this video, I have a link to their website. If you don't already own Photo AI and you're considering buying it, I strongly suggest that you download the fully working free trial first, because it is really hardware dependent and you want to make sure that it runs properly on your computer. Those of you that already own it, you could comment in the section below, in the comment section, mention how it runs on your computer. On some computers, it just runs like a dog. On other computers, though, it runs beautifully. Typically, on my iMac and my MacBook, it runs pretty well. It runs better on my MacBook. My MacBook's like a year old, and it uses Apple Silicon. It runs really well on that. I think like an M3 chip is in there. On my iMac, which is 3 years old, it doesn't run as well generally, although it's usually acceptable. I am going to be hopefully purchasing a new iMac soon, but that's beside the point. Download the fully working free trial. Make sure that it runs well on your machine before you spend the money on it. And that's it for this video. Thank you, everyone who watches my videos. I really do appreciate it. Talk to you guys soon.